Hi, and welcome to Choose Agape. The question today is, what does it mean to be pro-life? Being pro-life is so much more than just being anti-abortion. Even though the dictionary defines pro-life as opposed to the belief that a pregnant woman should have the freedom to choose an abortion and opposing abortion and euthanasia. But is this how we should understand the term pro-life? Well, is being pro-education simply being against the denial of education to women? Or is it much more than that? Being against the oppression of women in education is an instantiation of a deeper belief about the value of education, and so it is with pro-life. Being pro-life is saying yes to life, it's choosing life, it's what Moses and Abraham and Mary and our parents and our grandparents and so on all said, which is yes, yes to life. And life means much more than just biological survival. It means all the levels of human life, from the biological to the psychological, to the interpersonal, to the religious. To be pro-life means loving and caring for our bodily health and of the planet that nourishes it. It means loving and caring for play, that uprush of life that we share with others. It means loving and caring for work, that unique way in which humans can flourish in the service of others, that we recognize one another as having dignity, and that there's dignity in being able to work, in being able to live out our nature. It means loving and caring for other human psychological and spiritual lives as well as our own. Love others as we love ourselves. It means loving and caring for other human biological lives and not killing them by abortion, euthanasia, suicide, or starting wars. It means loving the moral law that tells you how to do that. It means knowing and loving nature and the nature of everything. Man, woman, animals, God, and even Sister Death. It means not acting against our nature, but rather painting with the grain. It means loving the source and inventor of life, wherever he comes to us, in nature, in conscience, in the Bible, in the Mass, in children, everywhere, even in death. And it means not distracting ourselves to such an extent that we cannot allow the inventor of life to come to us in those various ways. So being pro-life is much more than being anti-abortion, but being against abortion is a fundamental part of being pro-life, because without life, there's no capacity for love. And it is a firmly held belief by those who are pro-life that abortion ends a human life, that there exists one entity from conception to natural death, that there is an embryonic human, an embryo, an infantile human, an infant, a childish human, a child, a teenage human, a teenager. They're stages of development of the one entity. Something, excuse me, something might stop any one of us from existing in another stage of development. My infant may never be a teenager. I may never be a pensioner. But we would never want to cause that disruption to the fabric of life on purpose at any stage. And if we don't overthink it or outsource our morality to experts, but instead listen to that still small voice, we will see that we already act in a way that recognizes something different is going on in pregnancy. Whatever our theoretical reasoning, we don't act as if the fetus growing inside the womb is just another bunch of cells like the mother's skin cells or toenails. We don't say to someone who has experienced a miscarriage, "I'm sorry," or even "I'm indifferent to you shedding some cells." Pregnant women don't wear badges on the tube that say random bunch of cells on board. We make adjustments. We make adjustments in our lives in the way that we maneuver around pregnant women, in the care that we provide, in the respect that we show in standing up for a pregnant woman on a bus or a crowded train, because we recognise that she's carrying a baby, a human brother or sister like ourselves. If abortion doesn't kill a human life, then I agree with the pro-choicers. It's an intolerable oppression of women's freedom and of women's bodies to tell them what to do. If that is their body and not somebody else's, then you've got no right to tell them what to do. But on the other hand, if it is somebody else's body, then they have no right to kill that other person. I'm not getting into arguments here that show that a pregnant woman does in fact carry a human life. They're readily available to access elsewhere. But I do believe that she does, that what she's carrying when she's pregnant is a human being, a human life, a unique human life separate to hers. If we weren't convinced otherwise, we would all naturally draw that conclusion. So it's worth reflecting on why someone would want to convince us otherwise. Thanks for listening today, and I hope you join me again in the weeks to come. I've got some great chats lined up with various people about faith, life, meaning, and so on. So I hope to see you back here again.